All right, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Logan, and I'm going to be running the 4.5 email marketing webinar today. I also have my colleague Zach on the chat, who's going to be available to answer any questions you might have during the information section. We will have time at the end to answer any questions you might have, but before I start the training proper, I'd like to ask that everyone make sure that their microphones are muted until we get to the Q&A section. All right. Now, to start with, I'd like to take this opportunity to refamiliarize you all with how marketing works in Blueprint. Patient email mailing lists can be generated. Oops. Patient email mailing lists can be generated through two different types of campaigns, manual and automated campaigns. For manual marketing campaigns, you can generate patient lists based on almost any criteria you can think of. For example, a list of every patient with a birthday coming up in the next month. In addition to these manual campaigns, Blueprint also has automated campaigns that will generate those lists based on whether a patient in the system meets certain parameters. Let's say, for example, it's June 1st, and the system detects a patient that has a birthday on July 1st. With automated campaigns, the patient will automatically be added to a birthday email mailing list. Now, regardless of whether you're using a manual or an automated email campaign to get those patient email lists, you will still need to have an email message to send to those patients at the end of it. So utilizing the new graphic-based webinar feature, that's going to give you more options for creating those templates that you will be attaching to those campaigns. If we look over here in the middle, you can see that every email template is going to have the same basic structure. A header at the top, which will usually contain your clinic logo, a body or message portion, which will contain the text, images, links, or videos of your email, and at the end here, a footer that's going to usually contain an unsubscribe link, which will give the patient the ability to remove themselves from future marketing campaigns. To further demonstrate the potential of our new email editor, here are three new ones that were recently released to all Blueprint systems. On this happy birthday template here on the left, you can see that users can now add pictures to their messages. And on these other two, the new clean and check and the not tested in a year templates, you can see at the bottom that there's blue hyperlink text for patients to interact with. What you'll notice about all of these templates is that even though the message is different, the header and footer content remain the same. Clinic logo on the top and an unsubscribe option at the bottom. A little bit more detail on the unsubscribe link. The unsubscribe link is going to be present on all email campaigns that you mark as commercial in your system. When patients click on this link, their Blueprint file will automatically update to exclude them from all future marketing campaigns that you mark as commercial. Now, we'll go over where this commercial option is located when we cover attaching email templates to marketing campaigns. But for now, let's go ahead and get into Blueprint to show you how to create your own templates here. And real quick, before we can create our email templates, we will need to ensure that our user has access to the Manage Templates privilege. We can update and view our current privileges from the user list by going into the Setup menu, then User Administration here at the bottom, Users, find the user we want to update the privilege for, go to Edit Privileges, and then it's going to be this Manage Templates privilege right here under Administration. Once we've confirmed that this option is checked, we can go ahead and hit Update. And with that bit of maintenance out of the way, we can now create our email templates. Let's start by examining those headers and footers. In order to view your headers and footers, you're going to want to go to the Setup menu, again, this wrench icon, and go to Templates, Email Headers and Footers. Now from this page, you can see all of the header and footer templates currently in your Blueprint system. As you create more templates, you may find that it's easier to organize the list by utilizing the template type and language filters there at the top. Every Blueprint system, however, will start with the default header and default footer templates. If you want to create new templates, you can go ahead and utilize the Create New button here at the bottom of the screen. If we want to adjust any of our existing templates, we would right-click on the template and select one of the listed options. This first option we see for Edit Details is where we can adjust the name of our header or footer template and, in fact, categorize it as either a header or a footer. You'll also see that we have a third option, a box that says Requires Translation. Checking this box will ensure that any email template you associate this header or footer with will need to be in the same language. So let's say I check this Requires Translation box here for our default header and hit Save. And we'll notice that the translations listed here are in English only. So if I went to my main email templates page, which I can access by going again under Setup, Templates, Marketing, Emails, I have here a French campaign with an English and a French campaign. If I try to attach that default header to that campaign, I'll get a warning symbol. This is just to notify me that I've attached an English header to a French version of the template. In order to resolve this error message, I'll need to go back to my email headers and footers page. Back to my headers and footers page, and then go to the second option when I right-click, Edit Template Translations. From here, I can add a French translation to my default email header. So I'll click where it says click to add a new translation, select the language as French, and once I hit save, it's going to launch our template editor. And from here, I would just need to create a French version of the template. We'll get into how to add content here on this template editor in a little bit, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and hit save just so that we have a French translation saved. So I'll hit that, save, and navigate back to my Blueprint system. And I can see that a French version of this default header has been added. So if I go to hit close now and check on my email template again, I can see that that warning symbol has gone away since we've created a French header version for the French version of the template. So it's important to note that if you check the Requires Translation box here in the headers menu, headers and footers menu, you will need to create a new template for each translation. Otherwise, you can just deselect the Requires Translation box here, which would automatically set all templates to the default language listed, regardless of the main email templates language, right? So if I uncheck this, I can see that in my edit details, the default language, in my edit template translations, the default language is English. And with this requires language checkbox unchecked, it's saved. That means that all email templates I apply this header to are automatically going to have the English version of the header or the footer. All right, so once I'm done setting up my email headers and footers, we can access, again, our main message templates by going to the Setup menu, then Templates, click on this Marketing and pull-down menu here, and go to Emails. A little bit of background on this page. You can set up your clinic's sending address for all your emails at the top of the page here. Once you've entered that, you can hit Save. In addition to that sending address, you can actually set up unique sending addresses for each of your clinic's locations. You can do that from the Locations menu here in the Setup menu. So let's say I wanted Weatherfield to have a distinct sending address from the rest of my emails. I would just go to Weatherfield location, edit details, and then put it in a unique sending address right under marketing here. So now that all emails from the email campaigns I send out from the Weatherfield location will show the sending address as this email as opposed to whatever email that we set here at the top of the email templates page. Getting into our existing templates now, we're going to get similar options to the email headers and footers page. Right, we'll see an option to hit edit details here. That's where we can set the name of our template, as well as which header and footer templates we would like to associate with it. Similar to the headers and footers page as well, we'll also get an option to edit template translations. However, the main difference between this and the headers and footers edit translations is that these include a subject line. Whatever we put into this subject line here will also appear in the patient inbox when we send them out to our patients. If we leave this area blank, the patient will see a message saying no subject in their inbox. So it's important that we add a subject line for all of our translations here. Speaking of translations, similar to the headers and footers section, we will also need to add template translations to our emails in order for them to be sent out to patients in their preferred languages. Now, speaking of preferred languages, these can be set up in any patient file in their details tab. So if I go to any of my patients here and then go to their details tab, I can see that their preferred language is English, but it can be changed to any one of these listed. So if we wanted to send out a French or Spanish version of any of these templates to patients in their preferred language, we would need to select Edit Template Translations, and just like we did with the headers and footers, click to add a new translation, select the language, and then enter that subject line and save. All right. Continuing on down the drop-down menu, we also have the option to launch template editor. We'll get into this in just a second, but just know this is how you open the web browser where you can edit your email templates. We also have a duplicate option, which is useful if you want to create an exact copy of your current template. But let's say you want to modify it in some way while keeping the original. That's what this duplicate option would be utilized for. It's important to note, though, that once you duplicate a template, you'll need to change the name of either the duplicate or the original, as otherwise that would create an error message with two templates with the same name. You can deactivate a template. Deactivating it will remove it as an option when you go to attach it to your manual or automated marketing campaigns. And lastly, here we have options to preview or send a test email. These options are useful for actually viewing your templates as your patients will see it. In fact, if you select send test email, that will actually put this into your inbox. So it's a great way to see if your subject line is populating correctly. We'll go ahead and utilize that option after we create a test email here in just a second. So we'll go ahead and do that now. In order to create a new template to add to this list, we'll just go ahead and select the Create New button at the bottom of the page. And we'll pick a name for our template. Let's just do Clinic Closure. We'll create a clinic closure message for our patients and select the default header with our clinic logo and the default footer with that unsubscribe link. Go ahead and hit save. Oh, looks like we already have one in there. So let me just do holiday clinic closure then. There we go. Once I hit save, we'll be prompted to add template translations and a subject line. So we'll just put announcement here. Hit save and close. And now we're ready to create the content of that message. So we'll go ahead and find that information here, or rather find that template here, excuse me. Holiday clinic closure, right click and launch our template editor. All right, now the first thing you'll notice when we launch our template editor is this message here in the middle telling us that there is no content here and to drag some content over from the right. Here on the right, we can see that there are a few different options to choose from. I'll briefly go through each of these 9 options, but know that we'll not be using all of them for this test campaign. First, we have columns. Drag those over. You can see that this gives us the option to break up our content into different sections on the same line. So this can be very useful if, let's say, we wanted to put text in this section, images in here, a web link in another one. We also have headings, which are generally placed at the beginning of an email message. Very useful for restating the subject line. Then we have text here, which is going to make up the majority of our message. In fact, I'm just going to reload this page. Looks like we're running into a little bit of an issue here. That's okay though. So we were at text here, so we could just click in here and resize or reformat our text if we want, and type in whatever message we want in here when we're ready. Next, we have images, where we can take a saved image from our computer and upload it to the email template. You'll also note here that we have a option to generate images with the screen button. This is going to be our built-in AI generator. So whether you choose to use a stock image or to generate an AI image, that's up to you whenever you select this image content. We also have a button, which gives the patient something to interact with on the email. With this button, we can insert a web link or even phone numbers if the patient has a soft phone on their computer. We also have dividers, which we can put between our images or under our headers to make the email look a little neater. We have an HTML editor so that users familiar with web development and JavaScript can add additional functions to their email templates using this tool. We have a menu option here. If you want to create multiple buttons at once, you would just do that by hitting Add New Item. And lastly, our clinic logo. All we would have to do is just drag this over, and the clinic logo that we have set for in our blueprint system will automatically generate there. That's going to cover all of the 9 different features in our email templates. But again, for the purposes of this training session, I'll just be sticking to 4 of them. So let's go ahead and create a heading for our clinic closure message. Going to grab that over here from the right and drag it over. And here I can just put in clinic closure announcement. And then you can see here on the right that we have a few options to edit formatting. Right, if we want to change the size, we can do so from here with certain preset filters, or manually here under where it says font size. You can also change the color of the text if we want. And change the text alignment. Let's go ahead and center that. All right, once we're satisfied with our header, we can go ahead and move on to the main text of our email. So I'm going to go ahead and drag the text option, put that below the header so that we can start writing our message. Now to save time, I do have a pre-populated message in there. So I'm just going to copy that and drag it over here. Keep the formatting on that and space it out a little bit. All right. Now, while the content of the text looks good, we notice that there are a couple of things we can do to improve it. Like here at the top, instead of having a generic patient name, we'll want to have it so that each patient who receives the message will see their name here at the top. We can do that by replacing this patient name asterisk text with a merge tag. If you notice here at the bottom in this little formatting toolbar, we have the option for merge tags. I click on that and then look for the category I'm looking for. I'm looking for the recipient first name. I'll just click on first name here, and then I'll get a little blue box with the merge field in it. If I wanted to include the patient last name, I would just make a space, go back to recipient, and this time just select last name. All right, I can do the same for our clinic name. This time I'll go to clinic name, and our clinic telephone number as well. All right. Now the text of our email looks good. We can go ahead and add a button that patients can use to contact us at. So I'm going to take the button over here and drag it over. We can add button text as well. So I'm just going to say contact us. And over here on the right, we can just add a target for our URL. I'll just take for this example, I'll just take the content of our of our email generator, paste it here, and then below you'll see we have the option to select a target. When patients hit that button, do we want it to open a new tab in their browser, or do we want it to replace the current email tab? Let's do a new tab just so that they can keep our email open as well as contact us at the same time. All right, so now our button's in there. You can go ahead and maybe add a divider just to indicate that the main content of our message is completed. So I'll take the divider and put it under the contact us bar button, excuse me. And then maybe to finish off our email template, we'll go ahead and take an image. So I'll take an image here, drag it under there, and click in the image file here. And again, we do have AI images that we can generate, but for the purposes of this training session, I'm just going to take a stock image that we have and upload that. All right. And lastly, I'm just going to add a little text blurb at the bottom to finish out our email campaign, or email template here, excuse me. And we'll include the clinic name, Marchfield. All right. Once we're satisfied with our template, we can go ahead and hit this blue save button in the upper right-hand corner. That's going to automatically update the template in our Blueprint system. So if I go back to Blueprint, then the content in this holiday clinic test closure template should be the same as what we just created. Now, before we're finished with our template, we'll probably want to ensure that everything looks good on the patient end as well. So let's just go ahead here and send a test email template to ourselves. So I'm going to right click and pick the last option, send test email, and send that to myself here. So we'll hit send, check my inbox, and perfect. Yep, I can see that our subject line announcement is in there. Go ahead and click on that. And here's our email template. We'll want to ensure that that button is working properly. Looks like it takes us to the site, but it probably won't work since this is already open. But regardless, we can see that that URL link is working. So I'm just going to go, yep, unsubscribe link is there as well. Perfect. Everything seems to be in order. So this template is ready to send out to our patients. So we've got our template saved. Let's go ahead and attach it to a marketing campaign. As I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, Blueprint has both manual and automated marketing campaigns. If we wanted to take this template and attach it to a generic clinic closure manual marketing campaign, we would need to navigate to our marketing tab on the toolbar on the left here. So I'm going to click marketing. Yep, find our holiday closure campaign here. And just to attach that template we just created to this campaign of 1,072 patients, we would just highlight the campaign and select send email. And then that holiday closure, clinic closure message should appear as an option there. And all we need to do from there is hit select and send email. Now, I believe I have many of my colleagues' emails here on this members list. So to avoid me filling up their inbox, I'm not actually going to send the email. Just note, though, that this would be the process for attaching an email template to a manual campaign. Simply highlight it, select send email, and pick your template. Now, at the beginning of the training, I had mentioned that we have a second option for marketing campaigns in Blueprint, and that's going to be our automated marketing campaigns. You can access those from the setup menu and selecting the marketing automation option. Now, it's important to note that if you have marketing automation disabled, like I do here, we won't be able to make any changes until we enable it. In order to do that, I'm just going to click this Enable Marketing Integration button here at the top and go through our setup wizard here. Our platform is Blueprint OMS Marketing Automation. This screen will ask if we want emails to be sent out automatically as soon as parameters are met. Say, for example, way back at the beginning, it's June 1st. The system detects a patient who has a birthday coming up in a month. This is just asking us, do you want the system to just generate the list, or do you want the system to send out the emails automatically as well? Let's have it send out the email automatically as soon as the list is generated, just to save us some time. I'll hit next here. If we leave this unsubscribe page blank, we'll get the same link that we've been getting on all our other templates, which again should remove patients from future commercial messages. I'll hit next here. And lastly, here's going to be our setting address. This will be the same as on that email templates page. I can go ahead and hit finish here. And now I have marketing automation enabled. Let's go ahead and attach some email templates to these campaigns. Now, you'll recall at the beginning that I had a new birthday template email. To correspond with that, Blueprint has also released this new birthday campaign that'll trigger 60 days before the patient's birthday. I can activate this campaign by right-clicking on the campaign and selecting Edit Details. Looks like it's already active. Great. Now, once the campaign is active, I can select an email template from this drop-down list. We'll go ahead and pick our birthday's new campaign and select Update. I can then do the same for the not tested in a year campaigns here. So I'll right-click and select Edit Details, make it active, and pick the not tested in a year email template. I'll update that. And then we'll do the same for our new warranty expiration campaign. Edit Details and put the clean and check appointment there. Go ahead and hit Update. And now these campaigns are set to trigger based on their individual parameters. So now whenever a patient has a hearing aid that's going to expire in 3 weeks, they'll receive that clean and check email template that I showed at the beginning of the training. All right, that's going to conclude the information section of our webinar. I would ask that you please direct any questions that you have to the chat, and me and Zach will do our best to answer them. All right. Well, if not, I wish you all a happy Friday. Thank you so much for attending the training session. And I'm going to go ahead and end it for everybody.